Today on the Diz List, we share what we do on a solo trip to Walt Disney World.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that lists everything in Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and welcome to episode 98, where we share what we would do on a solo trip to Walt Disney World. Not Han Solo.
You took the...
I had to beat you because I knew that was coming. I'm like, he's going to do it. I got to win this one.
Okay. Yeah. We're not headed over to Star Tours, although maybe we would.
Yeah?
I would. So, this week... I got to be a podcast host at school.
I let you say that one. I was going to jump right in and say, Nick's already said that line this week once. What line? Welcome to the Diz List.
Yeah. So let's just catch everybody up, give you a little bit of context.
Sure.
Rob is the advisor. He's a co-advisor of a club. I guess you can call it a club, right?
Yeah.
It's the morning announcements at our high school. And there's a crew of kids who every morning read the announcements of, what's going on, sports for the day. They have a song of the day. I was actually the day that we're talking about.
You were in there chatting with me about the podcast.
Yeah. And then also it was Wisdom Wednesday where we read something from one of your good friends.
Oh yeah. My buddy Todd.
So anyway, Rob does them in their video. They're like on YouTube or they're broadcast to the school.
Yep.
And they needed a stand-in.
Usually we have more than enough people because it's seniors and then two juniors, and we kind of decide each day. Okay, it's never like an argument. It's kind of like, okay, kid A, kid B, kid C, you're on today.
Right.
So I think there was an AP test.
Yeah, it's AP week. Yep.
So AP is advanced placement, and I don't know what other states have AP. Is it just New York State or is it?
It's worldwide.
It's worldwide. Okay. See, I don't even know because I don't teach an AP. Nick does.
Yes.
You teach two?
I teach two.
Nick teaches two APs. So was it actually your AP that day?
It was not. It was the day after mine.
Okay.
So the only reason I was in there was initially to ask how the test went that I gave.
Oh, right. To a couple of your students.
Right.
Who are anchors on morning announcements.
Right. And you were like, they left to go to report to their AP.
And I basically just said, okay, Nick, you're on today. Didn't even give you an option. But luckily you were like, sure.
Yeah.
But
I had an idea. I had an idea of something.
Should we play it or do you want to tell people?
You can just play it.
All right. Let's we're gonna play a little clip here. First you're gonna hear me doing the Pledge of Allegiance. You don't have to stand up, it's just the end.
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Somebody had their mic unmuted.
Yep.
That's why you're getting the underwater.
Welcome to the Diz List. Good morning, Geneseo. We're back with your morning announcements. Today is Tuesday, May 7th, and it's a D-Day. Now for our song of the morning.
Did you do the song in the morning too?
Well, I turned around because nobody was there, and the only
thing the girl pops up and does song in the morning.
Right, but there wasn't a song that morning because she was taking the AP.
So you said
Walking on Sunshine.
Walking on Sunshine.
Which is not. It's the opening song. It's the part of the theme song.
Right.
But the best part was there. So I pulled a Ron Burgundy, and I didn't realize it until after I rewatched it.
Yeah.
So these are the announcements from Wednesday, May 8th. And whoever was in charge of editing the script that day, if you
probably
remember,
nobody because they were all taking their tests.
Yeah. But the person who was normally doing it wasn't there. And so they didn't edit. They didn't change it. It was Wednesday, May 8th. I read Tuesday, May 7th. And then additionally, if you go to the end of the episode, remember at the very end of the episode, I was like, I just kind of said it with a question mark, like, have a good day, Geneseo? Because
this has been Good Morning, Geneseo.
Have a terrific Tuesday, Geneseo.
Somebody put a question mark on the teleprompter.
Well, it's because it said, like I read it and I realized it's Wednesday and it said, have a terrific Tuesday. No, that's not right.
Wait, what? So then after Nick finished all that, I was like, okay, there's the opening for our show this week.
Yeah, that and my son was definitely like, why were you on the announcements? I was like, why not? Why not?
We needed help.
Yeah. So it's a great way to kick off the morning. We use our knowledge of audio, we'll say, because what happens is Rob's usually doing it, and I usually text him and be like, the kids aren't using the mic right.
I was a little grumpy this week, though. I was not the nicest in a response message to Nick.
Oh, that's okay.
No, but I felt like a jerk. I apologize later. I
yeah.
don't remember what I said, but it was real. It was really mean to you.
Because you said, "What the heck do you expect out of me?" And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm not talking to you. I meant more along the lines of the kid needs to, I tell them that every day. They need to speak differently into the microphone.
Yeah, I was
But
a
anyway,
little grumpy.
So you said you had a cast member story?
Oh, this is cool. Yeah. This could be long, but I'm not going to make it long. I'm just going to cut to the chase here. So if you've listened recently, you may know that we've changed our Disney World plans, and we're going to be staying at the Wyndham Garden Hotel.
Okay.
And so a lot of the Good Neighbor hotels, and this hotel counts as a Good Neighbor hotel, along with Swan and Dolphin. I'm just trying to think of some bigger, easier. I don't want to give the whole list right now. If you know one off the top of your head,
Wyndham
throw
Bonnet
it in.
Creek,
Yeah,
any of those.
We've stayed there too. That one's awesome. So one of the things you can do is you can link your hotel reservation to My Disney Experience, so you can have everything in one place.
Right. Yeah.
That way it makes it easier for me for early park entry, even though I'm not staying at a Disney, like an official Disney resort. That's not even the right term, is it?
Yeah, non-proper.
It is.
It's you're not staying on a Disney-owned resort.
Right.
Right.
We are a Good Neighbor hotel. So if you enter in your information into My Disney Experience and I show up with my Magic Band, I can tap in a half an hour early.
Right.
Even though it's not one of those resorts.
Correct.
So I looked around, couldn't find the information I wanted, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to give them a call. Let's just see. Sometimes we have to wait forever, which you've experienced. What was your longest? No, your wife had the longest call. Happy Mother's Day, by the way, to your wife.
Yeah, which is why, by the way, this episode might be a little shorter, because we're going to want to spend some time with our wives, who are the mothers of our children.
Yes, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, too.
I think it was 11 and a half hours she was online.
Oh, my God. And that's not an exaggeration. That sounds like a crazy number I would just make up.
And it wasn't 11 and a half hours and then they answered. It was 11 and a half hours and then the phone just ended.
That was for Boo Bash, right?
Yeah, because the whole shift went by.
Oh, my God.
And nobody picked up her phone.
So I had a very nice cast member, and I forgot what her name was. She was fantastic. And I just decided I'm going to call. So I called her and gave her my information and told her what the hotel was and when our stay was. And I said, on the website, it says normally it can take up to 72 hours for my reservation to officially go through and to link up. And I put in my confirmation code or my whatever the
reservation number, yeah.
Exactly. Put that in a couple times, and then the red text pops up and says not available yet or something similar. So I make a phone call.
Right.
You know? Sometimes it's a better way to do it. So I did. And I got this great lady, and we looked it up, and she said, yes, you do have early park entry for your hotel, but your hotel is one of the ones that you cannot link to My Disney Experience, which was fine. And I wasn't upset. I was like, great, thank you for letting me know that. And then I said, as far as I know, through my hotel, they're going to give me a card. And on that card, when we enter, we can scan our Magic Bands to get in to Magic Kingdom or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Let's just use Magic Kingdom as an example.
Yeah.
We scan, we get in, and anybody can get in early. They just won't let you in for...
They won't let you pass the...
Correct. Like to
whatever
to go into Fantasyland or whatever else. So they're going to give us an actual card. Like they still do. They still do it. If you don't have a Magic Band, you have one of those cards.
Yep.
So I saw them in one of the videos I watched, and she confirmed that that's what we would do. So it's not as convenient, but whatever. You know, we get the benefit. So what? I have to keep a card in my pocket.
Yeah,
or
not a big
4 of
deal.
them for our family. But then this is the cool part. So we finish our conversation, and she says to me, she goes, so what thing are you looking most forward to on your trip? And I was like, what?
Just having a conversation.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to the most on your trip? I said it like Yoda the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like how you said, yeah.
You did.
Rewind that. Hit your 15-second back button right now. Yeah. I deserve that.
Yeah.
So she says, what are you looking forward to the most? And I went, wow. I think I audibly said, wow. And I go, well, last summer we went to Disneyland, so I I haven't been on Tron yet, and I'm really looking forward to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Hopefully it'll be open in time. Do you know if it's going to be open? Well, I don't know. I can't say. We're hoping to maybe make an announcement soon. They said summer. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really hoping I get to go on it. And then she goes, and I thought the conversation was over. She goes, well, what did you like about Disneyland? Did you like it better than Magic Kingdom or not? What did you like that was different than some sentence like that?
Really?
And I thought to myself, wow, this is like the greatest question anybody could ask me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I really like this and this and this. And then at the end, she goes, that's fantastic. I really hope you have a good trip. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much. I have a magical day. And I hung up the phone and I yelled to my wife. I go, did you hear that? Because like our house, you can hear everything in all the rooms. And she didn't respond because I think she was outside or something. But later on, I told her the story and she's like, that was really cool. I said, it was.
That's old school Disney.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. It was just
What day was this?
Wednesday, maybe?
How is this the first I'm hearing of it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you get her name?
She did say her name. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I'm good at remembering people's names, but like if someone says it quick and if I don't repeat it back.
No, I meant more so because I think you can even give cast compliments for that stuff too.
Man, I wish I would have known. I should have asked her name again at the end. But anyway, that was cool.
That's awesome. That really is.
Yeah.
There's two ways that like phone call interactions can go with companies like Disney.
Yeah.
They can go really well. They can go really poorly.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you were angry in the least, that's the quickest way to diffuse it. Hey, what are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, just that 30 seconds of kindness can change your attitude and diffuse it so quickly because they don't know. Maybe you're like, man, I was duped into this. I thought I was going to be able to link it. I mean, I know that wasn't you, that you weren't in that situation, but you could have felt that way, or you could.
Well, sometimes I'm like that.
Yeah, you could.
Not often, but I can get like that too.
You could have been angry or whatever. Honestly, as I recall, the day after my wife's experience on the phone, where she was trying to buy those Boo Bash tickets, as I recall, she ended up calling the next day and was like, got right through and they were super apologetic, but it was a kind of the same kind of a situation where it's like, I'm sorry you had to have that happen.
Yeah.
And, I think that Disney does do a good job at that. You hear a lot of people complain about Disney. In fact, I'm going to have a discussion with you later off mic about some stuff I was hearing the other day. But just people who complain about it all the time, you got to remember for every one of them, there's 5 people who have experiences like you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I also was doing some stuff for Disney this week. Wednesday was my 60-day, my ADR day, so dining reservation. We got everything we wanted.
Great.
And I probably didn't need to wake up early to do it because that's what I wanted to mention is I think Disney is in a rut because if you want to go to Cinderella's Royal Table, if you want to go to Ohana, if you want to go to the big hitter restaurants that you used to have to hope and pray you could get into, I got news for you. You don't have to hope and pray this summer because most of those restaurants are still wide open. Like there were 15 reservations for, because like the next day I was like, hey, we should have another reservation for this day just in case and we can cancel it. There were like 15 reservations at Ohana.
Wow.
Okay, Ohana breakfast.
Wow.
58 days out, which means not even 60. Okay, so not even your max. And it wasn't like, okay, well, it's the 7:30 seating. It was 15 different times that were available.
Wow.
Not 15 tables, 15 different times. I'm like, so I'm just saying, folks, I think Disney this summer might be a little bit light in traffic.
I have a similar story from this week. I know you like to watch this guy on YouTube also, Paging Mr. Morrow.
Yeah.
So I was
Nate
watching.
Morrow, Nate's awesome.
He was great. He is a great guy. And I like passing on the different Disney social media people that we really like. He's great. And I was watching his video, and he was walking around Magic Kingdom. And I think there were a couple of videos I watched this week with the Smellephants on parade.
Yes. Yep.
I thought it was going to be stupid, and it looks kind of fun.
My wife is so excited for this.
I think it's going to be cool. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
I do think it was. So, I know what video you watched of him.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was a moment I was like, oh, it's the tiger all over again. He went to go, and he was very clearly saying he wanted to smell the thing.
And the lady was sitting in
And
front
the
of it.
lady was sitting in front of
I
it,
know what
looked
you're
at him,
talking
and
about.
wouldn't move.
Yep.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yep.
it's very clearly like an attraction now. It was.
Yeah.
It's no different than the people who would camp out in front of the statues, and your
Yeah.
kids would go up with their magic band plus, and they'd want to wave to it, but you can't do
can't.
that. So I don't like.
Yeah. So the thing that he did was he was looking at there, and I don't even know where this is, to be honest. I don't know if this is new. I've just never seen it. There is a digital screen that has wait times and things on it.
Yep.
And he walked up and looked, and he was a little bummed. He goes, oh, I just spent $20 for an individual lightning lane for Tron, and it says here that the virtual queue is still open. Because he made it seem like he bought it because he wanted to make sure he could get on Tron.
Right, and he just probably assumed,
Yeah.
as many of us would, that like, well, the virtual queue's
Right, that would
empty.
probably be closed in
Yeah.
a half an hour. But
Right.
he was there in the middle of the day, and the virtual queue was still open. Isn't that wild?
I wonder if he was there post 1 o'clock. So the 1 p.m. one that opens up at 1. I wonder if he.
We
if
could look it
that's-
up. It could
Yeah.
possibly.
And maybe that was the one. But either way, that's something to be aware of. Don't assume that stuff is sold out, because a lot of people were probably assuming that too.
I'd like to get some updates too from my buddies Vinny and Brian, who are in the parks this week, and I wonder what lines were like for them.
I mean, this week, I know that they say there is no downtime in Disney,
Yeah,
but I mean, right now is kind of a downtime.
yeah.
I don't
It
know
is.
what you would, why you would be there this week.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not like it's a big vacation. Now coming up, like I think New Jersey's got 10 school days left, maybe even less.
Jeez. Do
I-
they start early in August?
I mean, at least one of our followers posted, and she's a teacher, and she said she's got 9 class days, and then she's got 2
Jeez.
like administrative days. So kind of like what we have, a grading day.
Yeah, New York, we go right to the end. Like, what's our last day? 24th?
27th
27th?
is our last day, June 27th. So yeah, I mean, and then you got parts of the South that definitely will be done soon. So then now you're gonna see summer crowds start to pick up.
That's why a lot of times in August, some people say it's good to go because a lot of the southern schools go back.
I was there for a 10-day trip where the first 5 days were relatively packed because people getting in their last licks, and then the last 5 days was after they had went back to school, after Florida and the southern schools had gone back to school. And I can confirm that it definitely is a difference. That was the second week of August, I believe.
I was looking on touring plans this morning, just because I do all the time, just to look at how busy the crowds are going to be. And I was looking at the days that I'm going to be there. I think the lowest they predicted Magic Kingdom to be a 4 out of 10,
That's good.
which is good. And I think the average throughout that time period is probably 6.5. Was the size, maybe 6.5, maybe a little closer to 7. I think most of the parks were there, but Magic Kingdom seemed a little lower throughout that time. So we'll pick the lowest day.
Yeah. I mean, you have that flexibility. So, right now, what we're about to do, we're going to go to halftime and then come back. When we get back, we're going to be kind of not counting down, but like listing some stuff we would do on a solo trip.
Yeah, because I don't really have a best. It's just stuff I would do.
Yeah, stuff I would do differently as well. This was actually recommended to us by a patron. If you want to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/DizlessPod. This morning, I woke up right before we were going to record. I wake up and I open up the Patreon app because I have to like take and load people into the little randomizer. And the only time I don't randomize is when we get a new patron. And this morning, we were greeted with a new patron. So this week's halftime show is going to be brought to you by Brian V. Brian V, because he signed up, with us, and it's before July, is going to get a special treat because we have ordered those special rewards.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
So we got some pins that are coming in.
That is great.
Dizzless pins, and all the patrons that are signed up between now, so current patrons and patrons that sign up before our the end of our second year month, I guess is how to call it. July is our 2-year anniversary, and so we're going to all the way through July. Anybody who signs up to be a patron will also get a pin that we will send them.
That's cool.
It's a Dizzless pin, limited edition, limited to 50.
Cool.
So it'll be a fun little treat and reward.
Do I
So
get one?
Yeah, you can have one, I guess.
Okay.
I guess.
I got to put it on my guitar strap.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it. Yes. That'll be a good one for a show.
But I don't know if I'll rotate that one out. I always rotate one out.
Yeah.
That's a story for our music podcast, I guess, that we don't have.
Yeah. So thank you again, Brian V, and thank you to all of our patrons. We're going to have to the halftime show, and we'll see you when we get back. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about some things we would do differently or things we would do on a solo trip.
It's something I have not really thought about, but
No, when I first said to you, you were like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I would change anything. And I don't,
I would.
but initially you were like, because I think I had proposed to you because the person who asked us to do this said either an adults only trip or a solo trip. And I think originally when I said the adults only, you're like, I don't know if I would do anything differently.
Well, because when you go with someone else, especially if it's your wife or kids, there's compromise involved.
Right.
And that's fine. And I don't have a problem with that.
But if you're solo,
it changes a lot.
yeah.
Because there's things I like to do that can be annoying to other people in my group.
Yeah.
And I realize that certain things that mean a lot to all of us, we all do. Or if it's one thing that like, hey, I want to go in the Haunted Mansion gift shop. No one else wants to. I'm going to do it. Give me 5 minutes and I go in and I look around. Because they get it. Like there's some things that our different family members like that's their thing.
Right.
And even though the rest of us are not interested or we're hot or we want to go to the next thing, we all just kind of go, all right, you can do it quick. It's fine.
Yeah.
And we'll live and we'll get a drink or go in the shade or something. But the solo trip, this is what got me thinking differently. Okay, what are the things that I like to do that I wouldn't normally get to do? And there's a lot.
Okay.
That kind of related to my interests too.
Yeah,
so.
I'm interested. And it got me thinking too. We're at a part of our lives where we're not super close to retirement, but we're close enough
in the single digits.
We're close enough to taste it.
Yeah.
And
you're not in single digits. How many do you have left?
Shut up.
But you're not that far off from me.
No, I've got.
Because I'm not that much older than you.
12 or 13, depending on what year I choose.
Okay.
Which the good news is that like eventually we'll get there, and for me, I'm gonna have a while before my wife's eligible to go. So maybe.
Yeah, I have two.
Can you
before
imagine
my
how much?
wife's eligible.
Can you imagine how much trouble I would get into if I said, "Hey, I'm going to go to Disney this week." What do you mean you're going to Disney this week? I got to go to work. Yeah, I know.
I'm just going.
Yeah, have fun. That'll be our 800th episode. That's what we can do.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to know what's something that you would do.
My number. Well, it's not a number.
It's not a rank.
I put numbers, but they're not numbered at all. Like this is just.
Yeah, it's like a bullet list.
It is, and I like all of them. So it's a different kind of Diz list than what we would normally do here. So I mentioned it a little bit. I love going through and looking at everything of merch in the shops. So merch, if you don't know, it's a band term. Bands use this term, and anything that's merchandise.
It's not band exclusive.
I think it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying though. Yeah,
well, because now it's like an official company name. Like one of my best friends he runs Kings Road Merch. Yeah, and like that's their official company name. It's not merchandise; it's merch.
Yeah, I guess maybe it could be I mean, we have Magic merch.
Yeah, that's true. So it's just such a term that I'm used to using. Anyway, my point is I love going through every little thing because being in a band and playing in bands for 30 years, I love making t-shirts. I love making stickers, and that stuff to me is just so cool. Mm-hmm. So I'll go through every pin on the pin rack just because they're interesting to look at. I'll see what all the different shirts are. The younger kid stuff, not as much. Like plush, I'll kind of look and see, but a lot of that stuff I kind of gloss over. But things like t-shirts and the Spirit jerseys and the mugs and pins, stuff that I like, I could take a long time looking at.
Right. And you don't, when you're with somebody, when you're with a group, you don't necessarily feel like you can do that.
I build it in when somebody says, hey, I'm going to go get a drink from Starbucks, or I got to go to the bathroom, and that's my cue to zip. I go right in the little store and look around. I'll just say, I'll be in here.
Yep.
But I would take a lot more time.
Well,
a lot more time.
I think I agree with you. I would spend more time on the ones, especially the ones in the parks, than I already do. I kind of do this already though at the resort, because I will take and be like, okay, I'm going to go down to the front desk and pay off some of the room charges or whatever. Or maybe it's like, hey, I'm going to go and just walk around. So after we're back to the resort, where it's not like people are just relaxing in the room, so it's not a big deal. And then I'll go to the resort specific one, and I can spend, oh my gosh, I can spend a long time. The one in Contemporary, the little, is it Fantasia Gifts?
Yeah, it is. It is.
So
yeah, the one right in the middle
with the ridiculous number of pins.
Oh yeah, that has more pins than any place I can think of.
Yeah, my son and I spent probably an hour just looking at pins in there. I was like, oh
that's
my
a good
gosh.
That one's cool because it's like open air. It's like just walls, and if you look up, you're like inside.
It reminds me of the calendar kiosks that came to the malls once a year. But that's what it reminds me of. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Kind of along the same lines of that, for me, I just said one of the things that I would do is just slow down in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think that we go fast because we're with, because we're with the kids or because we're with, my wife or with a group or whatever. I think we go fast because we know in order to get to something that everybody wants to do, something that's on everybody's must-do list. You know what I mean? You have to go fast.
I was waiting for you to say you got to hurry up to wait.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's 100%. So slowing down is something that I would do. I think I would do even more people watching than I do normally. I have never once stopped at on Main Street and sat in the rocking chair. You know what I mean? Sat over there, like just as you come through and you turn right to go to the is it Town Hall or Town Square, whatever. Not Town Square. By Tony's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony's. Isn't that Tony's Town Square? Whatever the place is there.
Tony the Tiger cereal place?
No, the restaurant.
Quick aside on that. Yeah. Jerry Seinfeld has a new movie.
Okay.
And Jerry Seinfeld's new movie is all about cereal, and it's on Netflix.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
It's called, I forgot what it's called. Something about a spoon or cereal. It's about Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
So that's kind of the gist of the whole movie. But this is why it's Disney related. You're like, where are you going with this? I'm sure you are. So one of my favorite Disney voices ever is in the movie. Yeah. It's Thurl Ravenscroft.
Yeah.
Thurl Ravenscroft is in the movie, who plays Tony the Tiger.
Right.
And I was so excited that they started calling him Thurl, and I'm like, oh my God, that's Thurl Ravenscroft, who does, he sings Grim Grinning Ghosts, he's in Pirates of the Caribbean, there's a third big one too, that I can't think of off the top of my head, he's the
Grinch.
He's the Grinch too. There's one other in the Disney parks he's part of too.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's Disney related. I was very excited he's played by, oh my gosh, British actor, he was like the 90s heartthrob guy.
Oh, when you said British actor, I was going to go Rowan Atkinson, but if you said heartthrob, then no.
No,
not Rowan, not Mr. Bean.
Okay, we paused quick and Nick looked it up. It's Hugh Grant.
Yeah,
plays Thurl Ravenscroft, famous Disney voice.
Well, when you first said Thurl Ravenscroft is in it, I was like, well, that's odd because he died in 2005.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld, you may have noticed, has been everywhere the past month. Have you noticed he's been on any of the talk shows?
Yeah.
He's promoting his new movie on Netflix. We watched it. It's funny. It is a lot of famous comedians in it.
Cool.
I would say I recommend it. I would say it's funny, but I wouldn't say it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
It was good, period.
Not worth me signing back up for Netflix.
No.
All right. So anyway, to get a little bit back on track, I know we kind of went off the rails there, but it was funny.
Yeah, but it was funny. It's Disney adjacent.
Correct. It is. Slowing down, I think, also includes like taking in the things that normally you don't take in. Like I said, sitting in the rocking chairs there. As you come in just past the train station, take a right.
We did the rocking chairs. We did this together because we sat right across from
that's
Harper's Mill.
That's a different one. Those are the ones over by.
But that's another great spot too.
100%. I would also, I would feel less guilty about camping out for a good fireworks spot. You know what I mean? Like if I'm by myself, cool. I'll just sit on Main Street for a little while and have the perfect fireworks spot. Things like that I wouldn't do with kids are something. The slowing down, just kind of relaxing.
Anywhere like in the UK pavilion you might like?
Yeah, like right behind. Yeah, and I would definitely chill out there. I'd go to Rose and Crown, get a pint, go across, sit down. Then I go back, get a pint. Then I go back, sit down. Yeah, I love that garden. You can make fun of me all you want.
I'm not making fun of you.
Okay,
Like
sure.
I like dumb stuff. That just inferred that I thought it was dumb.
Yeah, you did.
It's not dumb. Would I spend time back there? No. Here, I'll tell you one that is equal to that you can laugh at me about. I will just stand and I will watch the koi fish in Japan for like 10 minutes. I will just literally watch the fish.
Oh, I would do that with you. How about we can watch the model train in Germany?
Maybe a little less time doing that. Because
All right.
I would want to like put people on the tracks.
What?
Yeah, because that's what
All
I
right,
do.
we're going.
It's funny.
Okay, funny?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna. So slowing down is one of my things. What else do you want to do?
I would want to visit every resort. Every one.
Yep. Okay.
So I've been to
On one trip.
Yeah,
wanna do it on
I've been
one
to
trip?
most of the resorts at Walt Disney World. Not all, most. There's a
Okay.
few I have not been to. So it's hard to work in our trips. Like this trip coming up in August, we're going to go to every park, have a day off, and then we're going to go see family in Orlando. There really isn't a ton of time to check off, going to Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is where you're going, but
Yeah.
I haven't been there. I haven't been to...
Well, there's two resorts kind of there. 'Cause
Right.
You've got Kidani Village, which is the DVC part, and you've got Jumbo House.
I haven't been to Old Key West. I haven't been to, I've been to Saratoga Springs before it was that. Way back in the 80s, whatever the resort was called, we stayed there with my cousins and my aunt and uncle. I don't remember. I don't know.
So you've never been to Old Key West? You haven't been to Saratoga?
No, and there's
haven't been to
there's
Animal
probably
Kingdom.
there's one or two more, but like
Fort Wilderness? Have you been to Fort Wilderness?
I think
Did you ever do Hoop-Dee-Doo?
no, but I think we visited there in the 80s because
Okay.
I have a memory of what the camping area looks like.
Okay.
So I think
Maybe
we
you
may
went
have
to
gone there to
Tri-Circle D Ranch. Is that what it's called?
I think we visited friends there because if I'm remembering right, one of my friends growing up, who was like my next door neighbor, she would go with her dad, and he had a camper, and he would go, and I feel like we drove through just to say hello, but I know we didn't stay there.
Yeah.
But I remember driving.
I've never
through
been
it.
there. My best friend growing up went there last year. He's shout out Pat, patron. But he stayed there last summer.
Camped.
He has an RV.
Okay.
I don't know if it's an RV or a trailer, but so it wasn't like in a tent and wasn't in a cabin. So yes, camped. But
My wife wants to get an Airstream, so I could see going there at
really?
some point.
Yeah.
Well, way after retirement,
Yeah.
once we actually have some money.
yeah, because Airstreams are not
I know
cheap.
we don't. We say these people listening know we're teachers. They
Yeah.
understand what our bank accounts
Yeah.
look like.
Airstreams, maybe start with a Jayco, and then move on to the Airstream.
Yeah, I see those everywhere.
Yeah.
too.
You know what? On mine, one of the things I have ties right into this.
Yeah.
And it's that I would do two things. One, I would resort hop, which is exactly what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
But two, I would do a split stay. So I don't necessarily feel like moving my whole family mid trip. I know you've done it a few times.
Yeah, it's
But
okay. It's not easy. It's not
And it's
hard.
not the ideal way to do it.
Yeah, Disney makes it easier.
Right. In your situation, when you did it last time, it was, our DVC point, like we had stayed with you. We did the DVC thing. And then you guys did Port Orleans, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And they
were
brought
you
our
French Quarter or Riverside?
Riverside.
Okay.
Yep.
And they do make it easier, I guess, easier than other places. But, once you get comfortable with a family, it's just easier to stay. I think for me, if I were going on my own, especially as a DVC member, I would be like, oh, let's book a night here and then maybe a night there. Because I literally could be living out of a backpack if it's
Yeah,
just me.
and that's fine.
And with DVC points, I can get, I'm going to take what's available here. I'm going to take what's available there. It's sometimes easy to find one night stays and not like once you're past the 7-month mark and not easy to find full weeks. So for me, the resort hopping is 100% something I want to do. And the split stay would be something I've never done. I'm sure we will do it at some point, but I'm talking, when I say split stay, I mean like split stay, like multiple, not just two, not just like, oh, I'm staying for 4 days at the Poly and 3 days over at Beach Club. It would be like, oh, how about a night at Beach Club? I wonder what Boardwalk's like. Oh, let's go. You know what I mean? Like really do it.
That
and
might
do
be
it
a
up.
crazy trip to do a check into a resort. Let's say it's Beach Club, right?
Yep.
And it'll explain in a second for proximity. So Beach Club, Then you go to a park the next day. Then you have a day off to switch resorts, and you switch over to Boardwalk, right? That's day 3. Day 4, you go to a different park. Day 5, you switch to Caribbean Beach, which is right nearby. Then you do a park the next day. Can you imagine that, like A, and then that would be quite an adventure.
You would, I mean,
That'd be cool.
I would love to. You got me thinking. If you did, and I wouldn't necessarily put a space day in there, like you had mentioned. It's cool to do that, but it would just take forever.
Well, because I would want to explore the resort.
No,
so it'd be
I
park
get,
and then resort.
I
day,
100%
park.
understand why you're doing that. My thing is, like, I would like to do. Could you imagine doing every single DVC resort, or every single, like, for me, I go to the DVC thing because that's, that's where I stay.
Yeah.
But if I did every single DVC on property in one shot, that would be an amazing vacation.
Let's list them.
And you want to talk about the content that you could create, like comparing all the pools. You wouldn't even need to go in the parks. You wouldn't even need to do a park.
Contemporary. Let's go around.
So you have Bay Lake Tower.
Yep.
Okay, you've got Grand Floridian.
Yep.
Then you've got Poly. Then you have, well, technically now you've got the cabins at Fort Wilderness.
Yep.
Then you have
Wilderness,
you have
the
Wilderness,
2 different Wilderness Lodge.
Right, so you have Boulder Ridge and you have Copper Creek.
Then Riviera.
Then you got Boardwalk.
Yep.
Then you've got Beach Club. Then you've
Yacht
got
Club.
No, Yacht Club is not DVC.
Okay. See, that's why we're good. We're going through this.
And then after
Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Animal Kingdom Lodge.
That's
and there's
Kidani Village.
Well, there's Kidani Village, but then they also have stuff over at Jumbo House, but it's considered one association, so I will treat it as such.
Okay. What am I forgetting?
Did we say Saratoga and Old Key West?
Oh no, we didn't. We mentioned those earlier.
Yep. So Saratoga and Old Key West.
Okay.
So those are the original, or not the original. Those are the DVCs at Magic Kingdom. Now, for me, because I'm a resale owner, I could not stay at Fort Wilderness cabins, and I could not stay at Riviera unless I either paid cash for a cash room or I utilized like I transferred points in from somebody else.
You know, we haven't mentioned in a while.
What's that?
As you can hear, Nick knows quite a bit about Disney Vacation Club, DVC. Yeah. If you are a listener or patron or anyone and you are interested, let us know. Because every once in a while we do a DVC episode, and it's interesting to me to find out how it works, and Nick knows it really well. So let us know.
Yeah, just absolutely.
Yeah,
reach out with some questions.
Those are always a fun
and
one
sometimes
too.
we'll do like a DVC Q&A. So yeah, I just kind of piggybacked off of yours, resort hop, but I would like to do like a really crazy split stay.
Well, this next one I'm sure is on your list too, and this is spend some time to enjoy some drinks that are of the spicy variety, we'll say.
The adult variety.
Yes, the adult variety, yeah. So, which
I mean, some of them are spicy.
Yeah, I know.
I had a jalapeno margarita the last trip.
That's our family joke, was when the kids were little and we would have like, a drink or something out, whether it's a Truly or something. If you look at them, they look like,
like
there's fruit on the outside, water. And we would tell our kids, nope, those are spicy drinks. You don't want to drink. So we've sort of we call them spicy drinks.
That's funny.
But I will enjoy one at the park. Definitely. We had margaritas together that one time, and I think we had something at the Japanese place, but
probably some Sapporo.
The other thing too with that too, if I want to get a drink or go and get like a margarita or something, what ends up happening is we're so busy and we're so hurrying up to slow down.
Yeah.
I think we said earlier that it's harder to actually get a moment to stop and like take a minute and get the drink that you want to drink, unless you build in, the cantina, for example, in Galaxy's Edge.
Or if you like, if you're going in Epcot, for instance, and you're getting some food, it's easy to order it then. But like, you're not gonna, when you have a family and you're like, we got to get over to Remy or we got to get over to Frozen. You're not saying, hold up, guys, I know you really want to get to that ride, but let me just go get a margarita. And you're not coming back with churros. You're not coming back with nachos. You're not coming back with tacos. You're coming back with a margarita.
Yep.
Probably not going to do that necessarily with a family trip. But you could do it. And you know what? It's not, I don't have it quite the same as on your list as you do with just enjoying a drink. I just said enjoy more lounges.
And that's part of it.
Yeah. But like, I'm talking not even just in the parks, but yeah, I 100% agree. Like going and enjoying those places. I, for the first time last trip, went into Rose and Crown Pub. I could throw an anchor out there. That was a pretty cool place. There are plenty of places, especially in Epcot, that I've never really even ventured into.
Well, I remember going in the Mexico pavilion when we were together,
La Cava's
and you went over and got a drink. I didn't even know what you were doing, and then you got one in your hand. And not that I was like jealous or whatever, but like we just didn't have a lot of time in there. And I'm glad that you did it, and that was the right move for you to make because you knew it was going to be good.
Yeah,
you're like, I got to take this moment and do it. And we were kind of shopping around in the middle, and you did that the right way. You had just enough time to enjoy that drink while everyone was in there. Like you must have had that planned out because the timing went really well.
Well, because I know that everybody wants to shop for ears and shop for different things, and because the shops in the Mexico Pavilion are pretty cool. Because it's like
and it's literally cool also.
Yeah.
And it's a good place to cool
so
off,
I was
especially in the summer.
Go get your stuff. I'm gonna step here, wait in line quickly, get a nice margarita.
So the margaritas there are, I would say they're above average from what I've had, and they're strong in a good way.
At La Cava, they're really good. And even the one outside, that little.
I had the one outside at the oh my gosh, the cantina. I can't think of what it's
You're
called.
talking about the one across the street,
The
right?
San Angel.
Cantina de San Angel.
Yeah. And those were great too.
Yeah, and there's also just a margarita stand right. I think it's Choza, is right across
If you're looking
street by the walkway.
If you're looking at the Mexican pavilion, is it to your left?
If you're looking at the pyramid, it's to the left.
Yeah, it's that little stand that actually the entrance is right across from the cantina.
I think it's called Choza.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that next time too.
Yeah. So absolutely, I think that's a great thing to mention is like when you're by yourself, it's okay. I can slow down and do this.
Yeah, and you can when you're with your family. I'm not saying don't drink with your family.
No, I know what you're saying though.
Everybody's different.
You don't have a chance to like slow down. You don't have a chance to really. You're trying to get somewhere else, right? Now, for me, that throws in this that kind of leads into my next one, which is I mentioned it in the opening about ADR day and how we were able to get all of our reservations we wanted. If I were going solo, I would not make a single reservation, not one, because to get a table of one or to sit at the lounge area or to sit at the bar area is a lot easier. Today I'm feeling like I want to go to Cali Grill. I'll go and see if there's availability at the bar. Today I'm feeling like I want to sit at Nomad Lounge and watch the world go by at Animal Kingdom. I'm going to go do that. I want to go to Tambu Lounge. I want to go to, whatever. Insert lounge here or insert, look, oh my gosh, a reservation just popped up. I can go to Narcoossee's. Like one of those things. That's what I want, is a completely free trip where if you wake up and you're hungry, that day you get breakfast. If you wake up and you're not hungry, that day you don't get breakfast. Maybe you eat a late lunch. You can't do that with the way Disney runs. I mean, apparently now you can because the reservations were wide open. But do you know what I mean? Like you really can't go with a family unplanned. You can, but it'll be the last trip you went on, or it'll be one you absolutely hated. So I think just flying by the seat of my pants would be something that would be fun. No reservations. Let's just figure out where I want to eat that day.
And the same thing can be said for rides if you do a single rider line.
So that's on my list.
Yeah.
That's on my list.
We'll get back to it then.
No, let's go ahead. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Is that something you were going to mention?
No, I thought of it when you were doing the reservations.
100%.
I was thinking of, I don't know why specifically I thought of this, but on Smuggler's Run, that single rider line, you can basically walk right on every time.
Test track.
Yeah, because they're always looking for 6 people to do Smuggler's Run. So, okay, here's a single. You're on.
Even Flight of Passage, all those ones that are hard to get on. Mm-hmm. That if they've got a single rider line, heck yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Sign me up, man. I will. Rock and Roller Coaster, I know it's not our favorite ride in its current iteration, but that's one where I would give me all the single rider lines that you can.
Yeah.
I'll be the guy who's standing there. We need a party of one party. Oh yeah, that's me. I'll come up. I'll do it. So 100%, the not having plans, I think would be a really cool way. And I'm a planner, but this would be a fun diversion from a normal trip. Mm-hmm. So what else do you have?
Well, my next one, it's very specific but open at the same time. Okay. I like to do challenges. at the parks.
I know you do.
So, for example, I've always wanted to do 4 parks in one day.
Yep.
My family's not jazzed on it. They don't even love park hopping very much, but I've always wanted to do that. The 4 parks in one day, or sometimes I see different people on YouTube saying, hey, we're going to do every Walt Disney World roller coaster in one day. Like those different challenges I think are really cool. The one we have not completed, but we're almost there, we almost did twice, was riding and doing every single ride and show in the Magic Kingdom. Well, not every show, but as far as like Tiki Room and Country Bears and whatever open, Hall of Presidents. I'm not talking like the Frozen show or Dapper Dans.
Yeah.
I mean, so we did
attractions.
We were very close, and the kids were young too. We did everything but 2.
I think that was your Christmas trip, wasn't it?
I think it was. We did all but Astro Orbiter and Dumbo for some reason. We ran out of time.
Well, I mean,
the park was closing, and we almost had it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
just like doing those challenges, and if it's just me,
4 parks one day.
well, that one, the all roller coasters. What was another one? Somebody, I think Tim Tracker did hot dogs, all 4, and had a hot dog in all 4 parks.
He was going around with hot dogs at Disney.
Yeah,
that guy. Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think those are cool.
I would like to do some of those challenges, but again, I don't want to torture my family.
I would never like, hey guys, let's do 4 parks.
Yeah,
I think that my son might think it was cool. I'm not so certain that the rest of my family would think it's cool.
It's a lot, and it's also
I've done 3. I've done 3 in one day.
Yeah,
I did Epcot. Well, I did Hollywood. Started at Hollywood Studios, went to Epcot, and then that evening, my son and I walked over and did Magic Kingdom.
Right, you went for the fireworks or something.
Because we had park hoppers. We were staying at Bay Lake, and so we started at Hollywood Studios, and then it was Food and Wine was open, so I went over and got the pickle milkshake.
Oh yeah.
So we did that. And I walked around Epcot for a while. The kids were super tired, but I walked around. I don't know if I even did a ride that day. I maybe did Living with the Land. I was by myself in that park for about an hour and a half, and then I was like, I can't deal with this. It's like 110. So I ended up going back to the resort, kind of sat on the deck. I did one of our lives.
Yep.
And I said, I think I might go over to Magic Kingdom. And then I got thinking, I was like, no, I really am. I'm going to, and I said to my son, I was like, hey, you want to go ride something? I'm like, I can get, because I had Genie Plus. I was like, I can get us on something. So I think we went and did, oh, of course, he wanted to do Space Mountain. I got a Genie Plus for it. And then I was like, anything else you want to ride? He's like, Big Thunder. I'm like, no, I had just walked Hollywood Studios and Epcot, and then he's like, we're at Space Mountain. He's like, well, let's do Big Thunder. I'm like, are you kidding? So
that's a long walk.
Walk all the way back, and then, yeah. But it was fun. It was cool. So I've done 3. I've never done 4. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
We can do that. Not a solo trip, but you and I trip. We can do that.
That would be
a
fun.
challenge.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
4 parks in one day / challenges.
I think that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I have on here, open it up, close it down. So what I mean is, like I know that we go hard, but we don't go as hard as you and I could go.
We have many times.
No, but I'm saying we don't go as hard as we could go.
Yeah, sure.
We could go harder.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of goes along with the whole 4 parks thing.
With caffeine, I can do it.
Right, but that's my point is we can't do it with our family. Our families can't go as hard as you and I could go.
Yeah.
Is my point.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might be able to, but they will resent us.
Yeah.
So I would love to just like truly open it up, close it down. Ear Scouts did a video this week, park hopping, and started at Animal Kingdom, the earliest opening park, and then closed down Magic Kingdom, the latest open park. I was like, that's something I would love to do.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he went straight through the day. I was impressed. Very impressed. Huh. I don't know how many steps you got in, Rob, but I'm sure it was a lot.
I gotta check that one out.
Yeah.
I will watch that this afternoon.
And it was about he was showing how to use Genie Plus on the Park Hopper Day and stuff like that, and what the strategy would be if you're going from one park to another.
Cool.
But yeah, opening it up and closing it down is something else I would do. What else you got?
I have one last one.
Okay.
I don't know how many more you have, but this one is a big one for me. So I'm a fan of photography. I teach a photography class, and what I would want to do is bring like a professional, like really nice SLR camera with a great lens and take some time and take some fantastic Disney pictures. Now, my phone, I have an iPhone. Nick has a Samsung. They both take great pictures. I think, actually, Nick's Samsung takes some incredible pictures. He takes photos of our band all the time. Got some great ones recently. They take good pictures, but there's just...
Oh, there's not compared to an SLR.
Yeah, so...
Or DSLR or whatever.
So SLR is it's a single lens reflex camera. And if you don't know what that is, it's one of the cameras that has the really large detachable lenses on it. I would love to just set one up on a tripod, just take some really great pictures, and then also use one of those cameras to take some really great video.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it's harder on rides and things, but I don't know. I would like to spend a little time doing that. Now, this summer, I'm going to rent one and try to bring it along and get some really, really good pictures, too. My daughter wants to try to do her senior pictures in front of the castle, so we're gonna see if we can pull that off.
Just on a side,
yeah,
if you don't want to take those pictures, there is a service at Magic Kingdom, or not at Magic Kingdom, at Disney that does it for you. And I forget what the charge is. It's not that much, and they follow you around. They'll like take the pictures you want where you want them.
Cool.
So check that out. And if listeners, you know what the name of it is, let us know, because
cool.
that'd be cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no.
that would be really cool to do our senior pictures there.
My plan was, I have a friend who lives in Buffalo who works at this place called Delaware Camera, and I was talking to him recently at a show, and I asked him if he rented out cameras. He told me about all the different kind of cameras they rent out. So I think when we go on our trip, I'll rent a nicer camera and see what I can do, see what kind of pictures I can take, and get a versatile enough lens where I can take some cool shots with, the shallow depth of field, which means blurry background. It's fake if you're taking it on an iPhone and you're in portrait mode.
Yeah.
So long story short, it's not actually.
You can zoom in, you see that it basically is like, it's like doing a Canva thing.
It is. Yeah. It's taking two pictures at once and stitching them together. Yeah. Whereas if you have an actual SLR camera, what you're doing is you're changing something called the depth of field, and
right.
You're opening up the aperture of the lens, and photo lesson over. But I would like that, just to have a nicer camera and to take some cool shots, because year round on our TV, our screensaver in our house is not only family photos but tons and tons of Disney photos.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to add kind of a different flavor of photo, with a different camera.
Yeah. So I think that'd be a great one, actually.
I love taking photos.
I do have one more, and I was going to put it in with the lounges, but I chose not to, because it's not the same. And I think this is something you would do too, and you probably just didn't think of it.
Sure.
You mentioned stuff about, grabbing a drink. There are some places, you go and grab a drink. I'm going to go sit at Tambu Lounge, or I'm going to go sit at Cali Grill and have something there. Or I'm going to sit at Outer Rim, or I'm going to go, whatever. But there's one bar that I've never been to that I want to, but my wife has no real interest in going, and I'm not bringing my kids in, and that is Trader Sam's.
I thought we were going to end up doing it on that last trip. But...
Yeah. Trader Sam's is, for those of you who don't know, it's a tiki bar that is about as kitschy as it gets. They have, different things that go on depending on what the order is, and it is pretty exclusive. It's tough to get into sometimes.
And it's hidden almost.
Yeah, it's kind of in a weird spot if at the Polynesian.
You'd walk by it, you wouldn't even know that it's...
Oh, if you didn't know it was there,
no.
Yeah, you'd walk right by it. They do have like a outdoor seating area. And I would do that maybe, like with my family. Like I wouldn't.
Is it out facing the pool? Where is it?
So when you go past the door.
Yes.
Okay. When you go outside, right there by that door.
Yes.
To the right hand side, there's some outdoor seating.
Oh.
You don't have the same. It's not the same. I mean, you get all the drinks there, and you pay all the same price, but you're not the same as being inside.
They don't have the giant tiki god.
No, they don't have that. They don't have the.
Which was part.
They don't have the shtick is not quite the same. So I definitely want to do that, but I would not do it with my family. And not because just because I don't think they would enjoy it the same way I would. And it's not even
Sure.
about the drinks, because I'm not a big rum drink guy, and that's what they mostly are, because they're tiki drinks. It's more about the shtick. I just want to do that and see that.
It seems like a cool environment from what
Yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah, so that's the only other one I've got that I would do on a solo trip that I've never done. Anything else?
No, there's only so many hours.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would have to pivot to, am I doing a challenge? I mean, it just keeps me busy too. Like
Right.
do a
Yeah.
challenge for myself or set whatever goal it is.
Yeah.
So, visiting the resorts, taking time to look at merch. I mean, that can be anything, or the challenge, or today I'm just going to be taking photos and then build in whatever other rides. So yeah, that would be great. But luckily a lot of these things,
There are things we can
my
do.
wife is interested in, and we do go with our kids, but before we know it, my kids are going to be off to college.
We can do a solo trip, and you can go in 8 years while your wife's working. I can go in 12 years while my wife's working. Right now, my wife's driving to work and going, I'm going to text you as soon as I get to work and yell at you for saying that, but because she's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're gonna do that to me. But yeah, so I'm excited to maybe one day actually get to live this out. But I also want to thank the listener who wrote in and said, hey, do this, because it's a fun list.
Yeah.
And it was fun to think about. But we're heading off, but we've also wanted to remind you, if you're hearing this, we have not quite recorded our 100th episode yet, but this is the last episode that's going to release before we've recorded it.
Yeah.
So if you had wanted to send us a message and you just keep forgetting, this is your sign to do it, because we're going to be recording it probably in a couple batches, just so we can kind of get it all and stitch it all together. And
we can start this week. I think I got some time.
Yep. So we're going to start doing that. But if you haven't done that, please reach out at DizListPod on social media, DizListPodcast@gmail.com, or sign up for free even on Patreon, patreon.com/DizListPod, and send us a message there as well. All three of those options are great options. But it's been a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow is just a list away.
Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.